Welcome everyone to the Long Beach State Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Good evening, and join us in welcoming our hosts this evening from the 562.org, Mike Gartabasio and Tyler Hendrickson.
What up, Long Beach? How we doing? How we feeling tonight? Ow! I know we're feeling better than that. I'm confident we're feeling better than that. How are we feeling tonight, Long Beach?
There we go. There we go.
All right, I am Mike Gartabasio, a proud graduate of Long Beach State.
And I am Tyler Hendrickson, a proud two-time graduate of Long Beach State. Not to upstage you there, Mike, but they got a little bit more of my money than they got from you. On behalf of Beach Athletics, I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2026 Long Beach State Athletics Hall of Fame ceremony. Yeah, let's clap it up. We're honored to have you with us this evening as we celebrate the outstanding achievements of Long Beach State Athletics, showcased by tonight's wonderful Hall of Fame inductees.
All right, joining us in the audience are some of the 200 plus members of the Hall of Fame already inducted who are here to congratulate this year's recipients. Will all past Hall of Fame honorees please stand and be recognized right now? If you are already a Hall of Famer.
Wow. That's a great group. Now we are honored to add to that class tonight with the 2026 Hall of Fame recipients. So if you are a Hall of Famer being inducted tonight, be ready. When I call your name, please stand. Let's hold the applause to the end. So we'll stand you up one at a time and then give everybody a round of applause at the end. First up, from track and field, Sharon Walker. From women's water polo, Angelica Garcia. Say, we ain't holding that applause. From men's basketball, James Ennis. From baseball, Abe Alvarez.
From men's golf, Bob Summers. From the great sport of track and field, Coach Andy Seith. Okay, and if this group doesn't get the loudest cheer, then I don't know my Long Beach State off-court culture. The 1993 national champion Long Beach State women's volleyball team. I did call that, thank you.
Yeah, that's valid.
I did call that. All right, one more round of applause for all of tonight's honorees. Thank you for being here to help us honor them tonight. All right, now it is my pleasure to introduce, in his third year at the helm of the athletic department, please welcome the Executive Director of Athletics, Bobby Smitherin.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, Scott Appel. All right, good evening. This is really exciting to see everybody. It's got like a party vibe to it, does it not? I don't know if that's the open bar or that's women's volleyball, women's water polo being in the house. Is that? There we go. But this event is always one of my favorite nights of the year because it really brings together so many people who care about this university. Former student athletes, coaches, campus leaders, community supporters, and friends of Long Beach State. And one of the best aspects of my job is that I get to make that call to notify an individual or a team that they've been selected for induction. So this class includes one of our own assistant baseball coaches, Abe Alvarez, and his family was in the locker room when we told Abe that he was being inducted in front of the team. So that was a special moment. I know Abe's family has so much pride for him amongst his family, friends, and former dirtbag legends like the one and only Jared Weaver and Jason Vargas, who are here tonight. So thank you guys for being here. To have the opportunity to celebrate a national championship team, the 1993 Women's Volleyball Championship team. I was trying to introduce myself to them, but I fly under their radar at 5'7", so sorry ladies, I didn't get to meet you in person. To see all of Bob Summers' former teammates, friends attend tonight's event in Bob's honor, this is really special to see, so thank you. I know the water polo tables are gonna bring it tonight. Yep. For the one and only Angelica Garcia, a 4-time All-American. We'll learn more about her. As we think about LA 28, we're inducting an Olympian in Sharon Walker, who who nearly 50 years later still owns the long jump record here at Long Beach State. So think how far ahead of her time and special she was. James Ennis flew around the world to be here tonight, taking time away from his professional basketball season in Taiwan. Do we have a coffee station ready to go next to James so he doesn't fall asleep? Hang in there, James. And the GOAT, and someone I had the privilege of working with, I think he started as our head track and field coach when he was 15 years old, Andy Scythe. Congratulations, Andy, on your well-deserved retirement. So the level of excellence in this class is second to none. And I know many of you traveled significant distances to be here tonight, so thank you. I hope you all enjoy the chance to reconnect and celebrate your time here at the beach. Before I go any further, I want to recognize several campus and community leaders who are with us tonight. Vice President for Administration and Finance, Scott Appel. Vice President for University Relations and Development, Dan Montoya. Mark Suazo, the Dean for the College of Business. Mark is in the back there. Thank you, Mark. Ken Miller, alumnus, faculty member, and board chair of the Long Beach State Foundation. Thank you, Ken. Jeff Williams, representing Mayor Richardson's office. Jeremy Harris, president of the Chamber of Commerce and proud alumnus. Thank you, Jeremy. And last but certainly not least, President Andrew Jones. He has, hold your applause, please, please. We're gonna celebrate it. President Jones, because he really has been tremendous for our campus and certainly for Beach Athletics since he assumed the CEO role. He's a proud alumnus. He looks like he might have been a middle blocker back in his days, so when he comes up, you gotta adjust your eyesight for when he comes up. But he has been at every athletics event this year, and we're really eternally grateful for his support of our student athletes and athletics. So please welcome to the podium President Andrew Jones.
Thank you. Thank you, Bobby. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to the party. It does feel like a party indeed. It's great to be here tonight. I'm delighted to welcome you to the 2026 Athletics Hall of Fame induction ceremony and, clearly, celebration. So this is a truly special event. It's an opportunity for us to bring together the past, the present, and the future of Long Beach State Athletics. It's a great opportunity. So I want to thank you for being here tonight to honor those who have made outstanding contributions to the rich tradition of athletics excellence here at the beach. You know, Long Beach State continues to this day to set the standard for athletics excellence and consistency in the Big West. And that's in large part thanks to the people that are here in the room tonight. Current and former student athletes, head and assistant coaches, fans, boosters, donors, administrative and academic support staff, facilities and events management staff, athletic trainers, and of course, our very own Executive Director of Athletics, Bobby Smithorn. What you do, what all of you do, generates pride and optimism and gives the rest of our campus community, not to mention neighbors, alumni, donors, friends, parents, and prospective students and others, a chance to come together and to feel like they're a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. So thanks for giving Beach Nation so much to be proud of and so much to cheer for tonight. To the Hall of Fame class of 2026, I offer my heartfelt congratulations to James, Sharon, Abe, Angelica, Bob, Andy, and of course, the appropriately loud and proud members of the 1993 women's volleyball team. Congratulations to you all. You have each contributed substantially to the success and advancement of our athletics program and our university, and you represent the highest levels of excellence in competition and in service. Simply put, all of you are shining examples of the beach spirit in action, and I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to express my admiration and my appreciation to each one of you tonight. So sit back, relax, enjoy the party, enjoy the celebration, everyone, and as always, go Beach.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you, President Jones, and I'd like to also thank his wife, Elizabeth, for being here tonight and being so supportive as well. Thank you, Elizabeth. Would our head coaches please stand up? We've got the best coaching staff in the nation. Would you please stand and be recognized? It is an honor to work with these people. Thank you, coaches. The athletic staff who are here tonight, who work behind the scenes to make events like this happen. Athletic staff, would you stand, please, and be recognized if you're on the athletic department staff? There we go. And the Hall of Fame Selection Committee, thank you for your time, care, and thoughtfulness that you bring to this important process. Would you all please stand? Hall of Fame Selection Committee members. There we go. Thank you. So there's no question we're living in a unique and challenging time in college athletics. It can feel overwhelming at times, but what really gives me confidence is knowing who we are and what we stand for at Long Beach State. So our focus remains on providing a first-class student-athlete experience rooted in education, competitive excellence, and personal development. And nights like tonight, where we honor our past, really helps to ground us as we continue to navigate the future. One area I'm especially proud of is the academic success of our student-athletes this past fall semester. Our student-athletes posted an average fall semester GPA of 3.31. 71% of our student-athletes had an average term GPA of 3.0 or higher. So those are the kinds of achievements that don't always make headlines, but matter immensely. Our student-athletes are excelling in the classroom while balancing the demands of Division I athletics, and they deserve that recognition and appreciation. This past December marked the retirement of one of the most influential figures in the history of Long Beach State athletics. Previously inducted into the Hall of Fame, Alan Knipe. Coach's impact on our men's volleyball program, our department, and the university is immeasurable. Championships, All-Americans, Olympians, and most importantly, generations of young men shaped by his leadership. Would you all please help me in congratulating and thanking Alan Knipe. We also celebrate the retirement of another legendary coach and previously inducted Hall of Famer who is here with us tonight, Kim Souter. Kim built one of the most consistent and respected softball programs in the country while serving as an incredible mentor, leader, and ambassador for Long Beach State. Her legacy is evident, not just in wins and championships, but in the countless lives she's impacted along the way. Kim, would you please stand and be recognized? Thank you, Kim, for all of your service to Long Beach State. Thank you, Kim. I promise you I'm almost done. I want to take an opportunity to honor and remember the lives and contributions of two larger-than-life titans of our campus and community, and former Mayor Bob Foster and former President Bob Maxson. Bob Foster was someone I got to know, and his philanthropic support and care for our student athletes made a direct impact in their experience. I attended President Maxson's celebration of life last week, and the word that I kept hearing was magic. Those were magical times. So I didn't have the honor of knowing President Maxson, but his impact will be felt forever. So in honor of the lives of Bob Foster and Bob Maxson, would you please join me in a Go Beach in 1, 2, 3. Go Beach! Thank you. Some quick thank you. I'd like to extend a sincere thank you to our MCs, Mike Gardabasio and Tyler Hendrickson from the 562 for guiding us through tonight's program and continuing to promote youth sports in Long Beach. Thank you to the Marriott and their outstanding team for being such wonderful partners and hosting us in this space. And finally, thank you to our Assistant Director of Special Events who put on this celebration, Jace Pardone, and her dedicated interns. Yes, thank you, Jace. Her interns, Roger Waiters, Elena Schmitz. Also thank you to Sally Schleismayer and Noemi Guevara from University Relations and Development for their support tonight. In closing, to our inductees, congratulations once again on cementing your legacy at Long Beach State University. Your stories matter, your accomplishments matter, and your example continues to shape the next generation of student athletes at the beach. So thank you all for being here tonight and for your continued support of Long Beach State Athletics. You're already eating, so enjoy dinner and go Beach.
All right, let's get it going. We hope everyone enjoyed their dinner. Please feel free to continue eating as we get the program going. Now it is time to recognize our Hall of Fame inductees, each of whom have left an indelible mark on beach athletics. All sports started with the sport of track and field, and we are going to start with the sport of track and field. Our first inductee is the current, for more than 50 years, record holder in the long jump at Long Beach State with a leap of 21 feet. She helped lead Long Beach State to the first team women's conference championship, and she is an Olympian. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Sharon Walker. Congratulations. Thank you. And Bobby, you're supposed to be up here helping us out, buddy.
Right here. Yeah. Thank you. There's your microphone. Congratulations.
Okay. After? Okay. That's not what the script said, y'all. I don't know what to tell you. Okay. Well, Sharon, thank you so much for joining us. My first question. Were you aware that you're still the record holder, and do you monitor that? You know, were you aware that you're still the long jump record holder at Long Beach State, and do you monitor that?
I know because of my husband.
Yes, sir. There's a proud husband out there. I love that. That's great.
He keeps up with all of that. I'm chasing grandbabies.
That's probably better than refreshing the live stats on the long jump. So tell us about your time at Long Beach State. What was a favorite memory? I assume jumping 21 feet stands out, but what was a favorite memory of yours at Long Beach State?
One of my favorite memories was being coached by Coach Lyas. And Lyas was from another country. But he was an awesome, awesome coach. And when he came here, He's coached me. Eli's a little bit different than most coaches because he's from another country. And so, but he had this way of making me do whatever he needed me to do. And I remember once he'd have me run down the runway and I'd jump. And he'd look at me and he'd say, "I don't like it." "It's okay, I fix it. Go again." And then once we had just had this break and I came back and Elias looked at me and he says, "Your hips, it's too big, too big, too big. It's okay, I fix it. 2 weeks, I fix it." So for the next 2 weeks, he had me do these lunges from one end of the football field to the other. I had to do 5 of them. But Elias doesn't count like I count. I count 1 and 2. But Elias counts 1 and 1. And when I got to those 2 weeks, just what he said, my hips looked just great. But Elias was an awesome coach. But what I remember about Elias is when he came here from this other country, Elias was starting his whole life all over again. And during this time, I don't even think he ever got to go back to his own home, but he was starting his life all over again. And never once did I ever see him complain about anything. And he always gave back. He always did everything, from his heart. And I admired that because it seemed like it didn't matter what was going on, he was always able to enjoy the moment. And working with Elias was one of my favorite moments.
That's beautiful. I wanted to ask you a little bit more about the record-setting jump because I've known many track and field athletes over the years, and I know that they get a number in their head of, I'm going to run this, I'm going to jump this. Do you remember that moment when you jumped 21 feet? Like, do you still have that feeling in you of what it meant to hit that mark? And was that the number that you'd been chasing?
No, I wasn't chasing that number, but I remember when I did jump it, and I knew it was a good jump because it was just something about hitting the board and how I came off the board. I knew that was a good jump.
That's awesome. Obviously, we've got the Olympics coming to our backyard here in a couple years. You were an Olympian in Montreal, and as Missy May Trainer always reminds everyone, there are no former Olympians. You are an Olympian now and forever. Do you, yes. Obviously, Long Beach State, we always say, is an Olympic school. We've produced so many great Olympians such as yourself. Do you have a favorite moment from that Olympics of going and competing on the world stage?
One of my favorite moments?
Yeah.
Meeting all of the different athletes and trading pins. I love doing that. And then there was this athlete from Ethiopia, and distant runner, and I used to love watching him run. And so one day I told him, I said, "I really enjoy watching you run." And he won the gold medal, and afterwards he bought and gave me his uniform.
How special is that? That's beautiful. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, one more time for the still lifelong record holder, Sharon Walker. You look like you could still go jump 20 feet to me. I don't know. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And still.
Let them know. Let them know. One more time. Let's clap it up. Sharon Walker, congratulations.
I still think she could jump 20 feet today. I'm telling you, no question, no question in my mind.
You know a little something about a long jump. Let's go from the track to the pool. After all, Long Beach is the aquatic capital of America. Don't you know it? Now we'd love to bring up the 4-time All-American from the women's water polo program, Angelica Garcia. Cutouts are a nice touch. Congratulations. Same seat, yeah. All right. Now, a 4-time All-American. That's pretty special. And you were here during really an iconic run for the women's water polo program. That's right. And a great cheering section. So 3 consecutive years, Long Beach State finished 4th in the nation. What made those teams so special and to be able to have that kind of sustained success during your career at the beach?
Well, I think it was very much a cohesive effort, and every year we acquire great players that just kind of fit in. I mean, we had a great coaching staff, Sherry and Ricardo, who knew kind of like who belonged in our team and who would make the team so much better, and that's how the magic happened. So, yeah.
Well, and I wanted to ask about, to be coached by a legendary figure like Ricardo Azevedo in water polo. What was that like? And do you have I'm sure you've got a few stories about being coached by Ricardo. Maybe you can't share all of them, but pick a couple good ones.
I mean, being coached by him, I'm so proud to have been part of Long Beach State's athletic and water polo, but being coached by Ricardo is like one of the highlights of my life. Just because he's an amazing person. He just knew how to coach, women's water polo, which is very different than men's water polo, but he knew exactly like how to treat the females, how to talk to them, to make sure like they got it, and like that you could work hard and like maximize like the potential that you have, which is for me kind of what he did for me. Like I feel like came, small girl from Puerto Rico. I feel like I knew I was a okay player, but Ricardo just like squeezed it out of me, maximized it, and made me the player that I became. So it was amazing, and being with that team those 3-4 years with him was amazing, and I learned so much from him. I tell everybody like, I'm right now trying to help coach the women's team in Puerto Rico, the junior team, trying to build it up again. And any time it's like, I learned it from Ricardo Acevedo. Like, I know. So yeah.
Yeah, that means something, right? When you name drop.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. During your career, you scored 206 goals, which is the second most in program history. Yeah, clap it up. That's a lot. That's 206 more than most people in this room. Any of those stick out to you? Are there any particular goals or maybe games? Because one goal is kind of hard, but are anything that kind of sticks out in your memory when you look back at your time at the beach?
There were so many good ones because it was just such a good team effort. I enjoy the good passes to my whole set and then making a great shot when I score, it was more like, that was an amazing pass. Like I always remember, I play the 21 side, the right side, and I have my 45 passers like Ashley Richardson, who's here today, who I just looked at her and that was it. And every shot was amazing because it came from an amazing passer. And so the same thing 21 side, I have Robin Gordine on my side doing amazing drives, and the goal just came because it was going to happen just because they did such an amazing play. So yeah.
So there's
many
so
memories. Too many.
Too many goals. Well, and it's obvious. I wanted to ask you. Clearly, you're Boricua from Puerto Rico. What was the adjustment like coming to Long Beach? What was that experience like? And obviously, a long move. So, what was that experience coming into college and being in Long Beach and being part of the team?
Yeah, so it was it was a really good transition. I feel like, even though it was really quick, like I feel like it happened, and I heard from Ricardo. I was in Venezuela in the Junior Pan Am Games, and I got a message from Ricardo. He called me to the hotel and was like, "You're in." And I was like, "Oh my God." I had to go home and in 2 days pack because school had already started. And so like made it here, supported by teammates that were willing to take me in right away. I had an amazing, we met up, I was just talking with my dad about this earlier today. We met up with a few parents because the dorms were full. And so parents were willing to take me in, and I stayed with this family, the Mota family, and they were amazing, very welcoming. So the transition was good because I went into a family, they were at home, they had their schedule, and so the transition was slow. And then from there, I moved in with early wine, and we had a really good time. And so, the student athletes group and the counselors just made things so much easier. And so transition into school, I wanted to play water polo and be really good at it, of course, and put the name of Long Beach high up. But at the same time, I came with a goal of my science major, and I needed to graduate because I wanted to go to med school, So being able to do those things and do them well because of all the support that I have from my teammates, from the coaching staff, and from the Student Athlete Center. So, yeah.
Wrap it up. And last question, you touched on it briefly, your career after water polo and after Long Beach State. Could you kind of talk about that and having a different passion and what you were able to get into and do some interesting work?
Yeah, so after I graduated, I still sort of play with the Puerto Rican national team for a few years. And during that time, I was able to sort of juggle both playing with the team and at the same time doing research and getting all my credits and stuff for my biology major. And from there, like I said, I always had the goal. Ay, qué bello.
Oh, wow. Elite. Adorable stagehands tonight. This is unbelievable.
Qué bello. Gracias, mi amor. I always have the goal of going to medical school, so I was the different type of student that didn't go straight straight through, from college, but still all the experience that I acquired, not just by playing polo, but working and traveling, just made me that better of a candidate. And so I, made it to med school, went to med school in Puerto Rico, which was great to go back, be with my family after so long away, give back to the community. And then transition back to the States for fellowship, residency and fellowship, and finish my pediatric emergency medicine residency.
Awesome stuff. Well, a life well lived, in the pool, out of the pool. Congratulations.
Thank you
now
so
a
much.
Hall of Famer, Angelica Garcia. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Congratulations. Tyler, I've been at a lot of Long Beach State banquets. That might be the cutest thing that's ever happened.
No argument here, Mike.
That's a Congratulations. Thank you, guys. Thanks for helping. Thank you. Bobby. I mean, that's good. That's a staff member right there. We need that team. That's the hype man for Long Beach State right there, all three of them. All right. Obviously, all sports, all athletes love to blow off steam. Nobody blows off steam than women's water polo players. I don't know. It's always, the life of every banquet you're ever going to be at. But congratulations again. Okay, moving on, another very special athlete, one of the best basketball players of all time at Long Beach State. He joined us as a JUCO transfer. He helped boost the Fab Four up into the NCAA tournament. He was the 2013 Big West Player of the Year. He was then drafted by the Miami Heat and continued to play 395 games in the NBA, the fifth most in the history of Long Beach State. He is still a pro basketball player today, and I am definitely going to ask him about his itinerary. Please welcome Ennis the Menace, James Ennis. These ones are always funny because I got to do TJs as well, and I go, these dudes loved everything about being college basketball players except talking to the media. James, first of all, tell everyone what the itinerary was like to get here from Indonesia.
All right, so 16-hour flight from Taiwan to LA, direct flight at midnight, very easy. Because you sleep half of the way when you come, so it makes it easy, wake up 4 hours.
Well, thank you for being here. Greatly. Let's have another round of applause for the itinerary. I live 5 minutes away, so it's it was
Be nice.
it was. First of all, congratulations. I remember your first time walking into the pyramid, and Dan Munson, and Dan was not a hype guy, but Dan grabbed us and was like, "That one is a bad dude. Watch that one." And he told us as you were coming in, we're going to have NBA GMs here watching this guy before he's done playing. What did your time at Long Beach State and your time with him mean to helping to boost you to the NBA and reach the next level?
Dan Munson gave me an opportunity. I came from a mid-major in Long Beach, Ventura College. So just him giving me an opportunity, helped me a lot. And he believed in me. It's hard to get coaches to believe in you. So I was able to, play my game a little bit, coming in as a junior, coming to a team that's been together. So, he had a big part of my career.
What was that transition like? Because like you said, that Fab Four that I referenced, those guys went 8 and 22 together, whatever it was. They'd been through it together. And here you came in, and it was very obvious that you were going to be the piece that helped put the group over the top. But what was that like for you coming in and having to kind of assimilate into a team that, already had that cohesiveness?
Yeah, for me, I was, coming from mid-major, I was nervous, I was curious. I think that's what Dan liked about me, because I always asked him, am I doing enough? Am I doing, to fit in? But, I came here with Casper Ware, Eugene Phelps, Kyle Richardson, I talked to Casper today. He hit the game winner, in Russia today, so that was a good thing. But, just coming here, just being with those guys, they all open hands, I felt good.
I love that you and Casper are still keeping up on game winners.
Yeah, for sure. I seen it today. It was all over, it was all over the internet, he's still doing his thing.
Could you, if you could go back in time and tell yourself and Casper as the young guys that you were, where basketball would take you, would you have believed that at that time that you were first walking on campus?
A little bit. 'Cause I told, so short story, me and Casper, Casper Weller, he has an open gym, so I brought my little brother and stuff to play open gym. We got in a little argument, I was like, blah, blah, I'm gonna make it to the league, and Casper looked at me. I know he believed me, but he didn't want to believe me, but, that was the first time I told Casper I was gonna go to the NBA when I was at Long Beach State, so,
Those open gym runs at that time were legendary, and I remember, being there, and James Harden would pull up or DeMar would pull up. What did that culture that you guys had in those years that you were at Long Beach State, what did that mean to you as a player and to the team that it really was a unique time? I've been around that program 20 years. James Harden's not usually coming to open run at the Pyramid. So what did that culture and that winning mentality of we're going to have the best guys in the world come and we're going to bust our ass a little bit, what did that mean?
Yeah, basically it's like Casper's from LA, I'm not from LA. So he was close to the guys, he's close to DeMar DeRozan because of Drew League and stuff like that. I got a privilege to play with James Harden when I was playing with the Rockets. But it was a brotherhood, man, when I first came here, honestly, I was super excited to play alongside them, and we're good. We lost against New Mexico in the first round. That was my first time in the tournament, but I think overall it was good for Long Beach State and stuff like that. It's a brotherhood at the end of the day.
For sure, and that's evidenced by what you just said. You guys are still, it's 15 years later, and you're still, you hit the game winner in Russia. I'm going to go hit the game winner in Indonesia next week. Share with us a little bit about your time in the NBA. What are some memories you have, or kind of a welcome to the league moment of, like you said, it's not a lot of guys who make that jump from a Big West mid-major to the Miami Heat, the Rockets. What was sort of like a welcome to the NBA, this is crazy moment for you in your career?
So the NBA, I'm not gonna lie, it was a movie. I ain't gonna lie. I thought I was in a movie. It's going by fast, but I enjoyed it. Good experience. Played with a lot of good players, man. Honestly, Miami, I played with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. I went to Miami when LeBron just left. I wish I played with LeBron. That's one of my favorite players. But it's a dream come true, man. Come from the projects. That was a goal to make it to NBA and just play like 7 years. It's hard to do. I have my brothers over there, Brandon, Winslow there, Jamar, my whole family's here. It's a blessing that they came here, and I'm just here. It's honestly like I'm thankful. You know what I mean?
Well, like you said, you're the 1% of the 1% of the 1% that have had the career you had. But before he was hooping in the NBA, he was hooping in the pyramid for Long Beach State. Ladies and gentlemen, your newest Hall of Famer, James Ennis.
Thank you, I think.
Congrats again, bro. For sure. We've had some great basketball players at Long Beach State over the years, but I would say in my 2 decades covering the team, the crowd would make a noise when James took off to dunk that they don't make.
Right. I mean, yeah.
You don't hear that noise regularly.
In the conversation for best dunkers, for sure. Yeah, always. The time would stop when that dude was in the air. It was something special. Obviously, had a lot of great basketball players. Also, plenty of great baseball players at Long Beach State, as many of you in this room know. And we've got the makings of a pretty good rotation over there. I'm not sure what table it is, but we're going to win a lot of games over there at table 7. Our next inductee into the Long Beach State Hall of Fame is the winningest left-handed pitcher in Dirtbags history. Make some noise for Abe Alvarez. It's not a Long Beach State event till we get a dirtbag up here, All right, I want to start with the look we have over here, because that is peak aughts baseball, and I personally love it. You're back with the bags as the pitching coach. Are we going to see a look like this season at some point? Can we bust it out? It's too good.
That'd be too hot now. It's possible. My mom's here. She would do my hair. It was kind of her deal, and we kind of kept it going. She was a hairstylist, so she kind of just tested things out on me, and I kept it going. But, Kristen Weaver's over there. She's like, this is a look I remember from Abe Alvarez. It's
That's
good.
how you'll always be.
That's how I'll always be.
And, you mentioned Weave being here, and you guys, quite a duo during your glory days at the beach, quite a 1-2 punch. What was it like working together? You guys were co-Big West Pitchers of the Year, and that's pretty special as teammates to have that honor. What was so special and being able to feed off each other and have 2 talented guys that were able to work together? What was that like partnering up with him?
I think a big deal about it was the falls. Jared's is probably 100 times more talented than me, but I didn't let him get away with much, and that was kind of it. He struggled as a freshman. I struggled as a freshman. I figured out my sophomore year, and then he just exploded. So by the time my junior year came, it was like, all right, I'm gonna do it tonight, and you're gonna do it tomorrow. And we both had a great coach in Troy Buckley, who was one of the best pitching coaches that changed my career, Jared's career, and Jason Vargas, who's here, who's also a Hall of Famer. Under Buck's tutelage, it changed, that era of dirtbag baseball was just different. But yeah, I still remember, I knew if I didn't get it done, we're gonna win the next day.
Well, and you mentioned the coaching, which is obviously you were in really part of the defining era of Dirtbags baseball. You know, you're recruited and you play under Dave Snow. Then you also play under Mike Weathers, and then you mentioned, obviously, Troy Buckley as your pitching coach. 3 pretty big personalities, I think we can say. What do you remember about those guys? Do you have, you know, stories about those 3 baseball guys that you got to be around? I mean, maybe the best one we'll save for Riley's, but, you know, we can give us some good ones.
I mean, there's really 3 good ones. One, Coach Snow, 1 year, end of the year meeting, and I'm going to Matsu, and I'm going to Alaska to play summer ball. I've had 3 innings all year, and I go into his office, and he goes, "Well, you're going to Alaska?" I said, "Yeah, coach." And it was 5 more minutes of silence, and that was it. So, and then Coach Weathers, who's completely the other way, I knew if I did something wrong, we're getting on the line and we're running until we threw up, and then we just keep on practicing. But that was it. That was the culture that was started from Coach Snow, that went to Coach Weathers, and then Buck kind of filled in more as pitching coach for us, where it was more about mentality and domination and knowing what we could do as pitchers and elevating that to the next level. We were able to believe that just because of the culture, dirtbag culture that was started from Coach Snow. Weathers continued it, Buck continued it, and then now we're here with TJ Bruce, who's doing the same thing.
Well, and after obviously a terrific college career, you get the chance to, you know, pitch in the big leagues. You make your debut at Fenway Park. I always love asking big leaguers about their debut. I mean, it's got to be a surreal feeling to be in a place like Fenway. What was that experience like? Do you remember anything from that day, or were you just floating?
No, I remember all of it because I gave up a couple home runs, but the best was it was weird because the media, right? So I knew 2 days prior. I was in Double-A. They're like, "Hey, you're going to start the first game of doubleheader." My manager at the time, Ron Johnson, he passed away. Great manager. He's like, "But you can't say nothing, Abe." I was like, "What are you talking about? I can't say. I'm going to the big leagues. I can't say anything." I packed my bags, and the guys are like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I gotta go home." You know, it's like, you know. And then I had a roommate, John Haddig. He's from Guam. He's like, "So what's going on?" I was like, "I'm going to the big leagues." You know, and call my parents, make sure they're on a flight, you know, and the whole deal. Call my high school coaches, call Buck. You know, just do the whole deal, and then I'm at Fenway 2 days prior still, and I have to go before the media gets there, play catch, and get the hell out. Until I think I pitched on a Thursday. Until that day came, then I was like, "Oh, I'm put on the roster." So, yeah, the game is a game. We lost 5-3. I gave up 5 runs in 5 innings. First time I ever walked 5 hitters in my career, and the strike zone is about this small in the big leagues. And I throw 86, so it wasn't going to happen.
They weren't willing to work with you.
No.
The rookies not getting any calls.
No, it wasn't going to happen. Veritek fought a little bit, but I was a rookie. He didn't really care.
And I know after your playing career, you came back and graduated from Long Beach State. Talk about the importance of that and finishing your degree and what that meant to you to come back to the beach and, you know, finish being a student.
It's you know, promises and commitments. I told my parents what they did for me, I was going to make sure I finished for them. And thankfully, I tell Coach Weathers all the time, I was here for your first game as a head coach and your last game as a head coach, because I was under his staff, and then Buck took over, and I was with Buck. But it was just a privilege to finish. I wanted to get my degree, not just for my parents, but obviously for myself, and build that. You know, my wife is an educator, and I became an educator. I got my master's degree from from LMU, and it was just one of those things where that was a plan, and I wasn't going to deviate from it, even though plan A was to be a big leaguer for as long as I could be, but plan B was making sure I finished my education. I kept promises.
Well, now you've come back home. Yeah, clap it up for that. That's great. You've obviously come back home, and you're going to be the pitching coach this year. I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you. I know Marilyn Bowl here is going to be in my ear why I didn't ask you how the pitchers are going to look. So how's the team looking? How excited are you to be back coaching at your alma mater?
Week 2 now in January, there's, that optimism. In the fall, it's rough. I'm getting to know them. They're getting to know me, my language, my dirtbag attitude, where I'm not gonna care how they feel sometimes. I'm just gonna be like, you gotta figure it out. Just being back in college sports and how a lot is catered to the student athlete now, it's different. So I have to adjust, but they have to also adjust to the way most of us who are Hall of Famers now were coached. It's tough, and that's what we have to implement. It has to get tough. January gets tougher. So right now, I feel pretty good. There's definitely optimism. Guys are really buying into what I want and what we want as a staff, and I think that's the biggest thing. When you have buy into the culture, the game will handle itself. Where we as coaches get out of it, and I have to call pitches, but at the same time they have to own it and know that it's on them, not necessarily on the staff.
Clap it up. Lastly, I believe we have the leadoff dinner coming up, so we should plug that. I feel like I'm hosting the Tonight Show. You got anything to plug? So let everybody know where they can go and show up for that.
Another big leader and Hall of Famer will be here in Evan Longoria, and he's the best. And if you don't want to hang out with him, I don't know why. I know Jason will be here because he's hanging around. So yeah, it's a great event. I'm glad to be back at it. It's a good time. It's one of our biggest fundraisers, obviously, of the year for the Dirtbag program, and then we start right up in February. So please come out. If you haven't bought your tickets, tags, we still got tickets available, right? Yeah, tables, we got tickets. Dirtbag Collectives hooking it up. So yeah, come on out Friday night.
Awesome. Congratulations. Abe Alvarez, Hall of Famer.
One theme when you come to enough of these banquets that you learn is that Long Beach takes care of Long Beach. And what a better way to get and continue this new era of dirtbag baseball than having an all dirtbag staff. That's very exciting to me. All right, next up, we're going from the diamond to the links. We've got one of the greatest golfers in Long Beach State history. He was the Big West individual champion in 1983. He was the captain and helped lead the team to the NCAA tournament in 1982. He's gone on to a very successful career since then. Please welcome new Long Beach State Hall of Famer, Bob Summers. Bob, how you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for being here with us. Congratulations on the honor. Very impressive career going through the record books. What can you tell me, first and foremost, about what being a golfer at Long Beach State helped prepare you for later in your life as you've gone on to, such great success?
All life. Golf is life, truthfully. But, essentially all of my teammates, we still play golf every month. We go on trips together. I didn't know it at the time that we were building friendships that would truthfully be out here for 45 years. So we go to Hawaii together. We're going to Paris this year with all of them, and I can't imagine how special that truly is.
Well, I think every coach in here probably a little choked up at that. I mean, that's the dream, right? That's incredible. How competitive is it still?
Truthfully, we're all competitive. We all still battle, but we laugh about that. Our shoulders hurt and our knees hurt and somebody's foot hurts. And we were talking about operations with another teammate. It's a comedy routine. We all got problems. But we're all 65 to 70 now, so we expect it.
So tell me about that group. I mean, it must have been an incredible time playing on the team in college together for you all to still be doing it 40 years later. What was that group like when you were in college? I mean, no one's going to take your scholarship away. You could tell some stories, But what was that group like in college to be a part of that?
We were a team, and you see it with, water polo and everything. Golf's obviously an individual sport in general, but everybody stuck together. We solved problems together. I'm looking at a gentleman that used to push my car every morning because it wouldn't start. So for probably a full year, I had a Volkswagen Scirocco. We had to park it on a downslope so he could push me every day. So, I mean, those were a little tougher times back then. Most of us only had either quarter or half scholarships. To make people a little jealous, our tuition was $108 a semester. So,
Bob, I wish you hadn't told me that.
Yeah. In so many ways, I mean, college, especially Long Beach State, I mean, it's truthfully where dreams are made. So many people, you might be the first kid out of your household to go to college, to go to Long Beach State. I mean, it can't be any more special than that.
You're right about that, and if you show up early enough, there are still a few Volkswagens being pushed around.
Right.
Tell me about the championship in 1983. What are your memories of that, and is that, I mean, it sounds to me like your highlight memory is just the relationships you had, but was that championship the highlight, and tell us a little bit about that.
I remember it a little bit. In fact, we have a gentleman here that played at Fresno State, longtime friend who was also there. And I still remember him telling me a story about a shot he hit on number 10 to this back pin, but it was windy. We were up in Santa Barbara, and, in golf, you play in a lot of times just the worst of weather, right? It could be raining, it could be windy. I do kind of remember something in that last round where we had a coach who had never said a cuss word in his whole life, and I walked off the 11th green muttering a few, and I kind of chucked my putter a little ways. And he was like, "Oh, Robert, you don't let your attitude get the worst of you here." So, but I went on to work it out. So you fight that, in golf, you're fighting those little demons. You got about 4 seconds to hit your shot, and other than that, you're walking around for 10 minutes thinking about all the bad stuff that can happen. So.
Well, tell me about what's the upcoming trip with your crew? Where are you guys going to Paris?
So we're going on 2 back-to-back river cruises in Paris. We travel with the Styles and the Pavens. We go to Hawaii a couple of times a year. We're going to Paris. We're going through basically the wine country. We just have the greatest time. Truthfully, they're the best friends ever. They were in Hawaii. They flew in yesterday for this. That's pretty special, and so.
That is pretty special, and we do have our current Long Beach State golf coaches here, who I hope that video is your whole recruiting pitch. I mean, hey,
by the way, he's the best.
Yeah. Hey, what do you want the next 30 years of your life to look like?
Yeah. That gentleman is absolute best, and truthfully, the one big thing at Long Beach, obviously Long Beach is an unbelievable school, and I was on the foundation board for 9 years. But I remember my coach, Del Walker, who also would be, in the Hall of Fame. And Del and Marty Walker are the 2 most unbelievable human beings in the world. And I will tell you, everybody will appreciate the story about Del. When he'd drive the big van. He wouldn't let anybody drive. He was 70 years old, by the way. So we used to joke about we got flipped off more places in the country than anybody because he'd be driving like this, he'd turn the blinker on, he'd wait 5 seconds, he'd never look, and he'd just change lanes. And I mean, we would get honked at, we were getting flipped off everywhere.
Well, he marked his scorecard, and then he turned it in.
But he was the best man, and I know that gentleman, he's gonna have 10 or 15 kids that when they're 60-year-old will think about him and think about how they impacted his life too. So.
Well, Bob, you said it. Long Beach is the best. You're the best, Bob. Congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
There you go.
Thank you, Bobby.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good one.
I'm dead serious. You just here's a pitch, you know?
It'll be on
That
YouTube.
was bi- that
It'll be
was-
on
yeah,
YouTube.
God,
Just send it out to the
that was,
recruits.
that was really beautiful.
Yeah. All right, from the links back to the track, and one of the longest tenured coaches in Long Beach State history, who I had the pleasure of working with during my time at the beach. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Andy Seith. The double take, I love it.
Thank you.
All right, Andy. So 35 years as a coach. I gotta say, 35 years ago, I would be in diapers. So it's hard for me to contextualize doing something for 35 years. Better than not being in diapers, I'll tell you that. So, a career like that in one place, what made Long Beach so special that you didn't want to leave? That was a place where you could put roots down and build something truly special.
Before I say that, I'm still getting over the visual of you in diapers.
Apologies, sorry.
Long Beach State University has always been a place where you can grow. And when I started, everybody who had been before me, legendary coaches, everybody grinded. Everybody put the time that it took to make something happen, and they usually did it with not much. So I got stuck in those ways right from the very beginning, but I was always rewarded. I was rewarded by performances of athletes becoming All-Americans. I have my first sitting right over here, who was probably on a little more than book scholarship, but walking away with an academic with an All-American, in the 5K. And so there was always a reward for it. And the administration would recognize the success. They would continue to support and, water the green spots, and we would get a little bit better and a little bit better. And now you look at it today, and in the capable hands of Coach Sheffield, who is taking over, Long Beach State Track and Field is in a good place, and it's because we've always had coaches who would grind, so and administration that would believe in us.
Well, and we were talking earlier, it's not like it was just handed to you. You had to get it out the mud, so to speak, and figure it out, and it was patchwork in the early days, right? So talk about that growth from where you saw the program in its infancy and to where it is now, really humming along as a really respected program.
So my first year, we didn't have enough uniforms for the team. We were swapping out, and the uniforms that we had swapped didn't match. And it didn't help that in my first conference championship as head coach, we were in Las Vegas, and it's day one, we're in last place. We go out to breakfast, and we come back, and our hotel had caught on fire. And so it started in one of our athletes' rooms, and that was 2 less uniforms we had to share and swap out that day. But we moved all the way to second place, so I think the article said fire lit under Long Beach State, something like that. But that was a memorable day, memorable experience. And then we got in the bus and we started heading back, and I looked around, I'm like, where did all these pillows come from? Oh, Coach, we kept them. I'm like, what did I got to turn around and go back and return these pillows? We're going to get billed for them. But hey, we have memories. We have great stories. And so, everything that we did, and I think those early years of really having to grind, they just stuck with me, but they created some of the best memories I've ever had in coaching because we had to do it together, and if we weren't together, then it just wasn't going to work, and it always was rewarding, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you talk about like an athletic department or athletic programs are families, and there's no bigger family than the track and field program. You've got so many athletes every year. How do you keep track of all those, pun intended, of all those athletes, learn the names, learn their backgrounds, and try to connect with so many student athletes every year? That must have been just such a challenge.
I don't know how I did it. But I would say one of the things I figured out early is give every coach a responsibility that has to deal with every athlete on the team. So the thrower coach didn't just know the throwers. he would know the other athletes too, and so everyone engaged. And so we all had certain responsibilities outside of just our coaching duties that created that connection. And so that repetition, would get you there. I can say that my memory is really good with those early years, and I actually forget some of the stuff, that's more recent, but I'm over here rattling off times and stuff that they ran on, April 28th at Mount Sac, in 1989. But, and so down to the 10th of a second, like I can remember stuff, and it's fun because it meant something, like it really meant something.
Well, and I know something that meant something to you was getting Jack Rose track built and having that beautiful facility on campus. Yeah, clap it up, clap it up.
Yeah, so it takes a village. And for those that don't know, we were blessed with a university administration and an athletic department that had a vision of what it could be. And there were people like Tom Van Zant and donors who all jumped in and said, let's try to create something that is the best. And it still is the best. We met that goal, we met that objective. And so if you don't know it, Long Beach State track facility itself is the best designed, best facility anywhere. And people know coming to Long Beach State is a place to perform. Conditions are great. We don't have thunderstorms in the middle of, championships and stuff. But thank you to every administrator who ever sat on that, vice presidents, presidents, athletic directors. I mean, that made a dream come true.
For sure. Well, and then obviously you dedicated your life to track and field, and you've got daughters that are athletes, but soccer players, and one senior at Milliken, almost done. Yep. Shout out on a great Milliken soccer team. What are the plans looking like when the nest is empty and you're not coaching anymore? What is your life going to look like? Are there travel plans? Are we playing a few rounds in Hawaii? What's it going to look like?
Well, first of all, my big thing this year is to engage more with the family and be at events where I was missing a lot. And so it was always a sacrifice. If I went to support, my daughter back east, then I was giving up practice days, and I wanted to be back there a lot. So, come Christmas last year, the decision was, pretty solid for me what to do. I want to give more time to my family that kind of gets stolen a little bit when you're in the coaching mode. But I'm so proud of them. I mean, they've been outstanding daughters. I mean, they say there's a teen years. My daughters didn't do that to us. There were no teen years. They were just always good. So I've been a blessed dad, and I want to be a part of their lives, moving forward. So.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I think I speak for the entire Beach family to say that, we're lucky to have you as part of it. A wonderful career, a Hall of Fame career. Coach Andy Scythe. Congratulations, Coach.
Oh, you got to get your... I love it. He said, I don't want the trophy. I'm trying to go see my family. Didn't you hear what I just said? Congrats, Coach. All right. Obviously, it's all well and good to honor individuals, and we've honored some incredibly deserving ones tonight. But I think always my favorite part of these events is when we do what we're about to do, which is to honor a team. Because as you've heard everyone talk about tonight, that's been one of the great themes of the evening is how much everyone's team experience at Long Beach State meant to them and how that's defined lives, friendships, and sports careers and everything else. So to cap the evening off, we have the honor of inducting one of the great teams in the history of the university. They went 32-2 in 1993 to win the 4th national championship and 2nd NCAA Division I championship in school history. They were led by their coach, Brian Gimolaro, the National Player of the Year, Danielle Scott, All-Americans, Nichelle Burton and Joy McKenzie, but it was a true team that achieved at the highest level. Please welcome up the 1993 national champion Long Beach State women's volleyball team. you again. Congrats. Congratulations. Thank you. Congrats. Thank you.
And you'll give me a couple of minutes, right? I don't know, I'll probably drive.
Okay, so Brian, will you introduce your
Yes.
team?
First of all, thank you to the committee for honoring us. It's an amazing honor. The rarest of all achievements in college athletics is a Division I national champion. And when we went out there with 330 schools that all had more money and more prestige in their minds, not in ours, and we had to put something together that was special. We met earlier today, and I talked to them about their families and how reflective they were, the qualities that their families possessed. Their parents were amazingly thoughtful, caring, and shared their strengths with their daughters, had great, strong, passionate egos, but it didn't get in the way of them blending together to be successful. When the game, I was hoping we'd have that filmed, but the game was on the line on CBS, the last 2 minutes, every one of these players played their best, and so did the opposition. The opposition played as good as they can, and there were 15,000 people not cheering for us. You're playing at University of Wisconsin, and you're playing Penn State. Not going to go too well with the crowd. But so let me say something about each one of these people. Incredibly successful today. I'm going to cut it short, but it's unfair, but at least say something. Start with Allison. Allison hurt her knee, and she had to have surgery. And every time she went, after the surgery, she went back and played on this knee. She knew it was going to grow back and she'd have to have surgery again. Didn't slow her down. She just said, I'm coming back, and she always did. I still remember vividly so many things. I remember Allison making this big kill to get us into the Final Four, right? Prentice Perkins, next to me, was the toughest player I ever coached. Am I right? Am I right?
And that is saying something.
Yeah. She came not too high, not too low, every play full on. Full on. That was Prentice. Next, we'll take Tracy, who's a coach now, college coach now. Tracy was an All-American, and when I watched the film for the first time, she was incredible in the championship game. All-American. Britta next to her. Britta was also an All-American. I recruited her, was so happy to get her, and I told her today, with our group sitting around having a glass of wine. Some had more than one glass of wine. Yeah, I told them, I told Britta that her club coach said, Brian, you're really lucky to have her. And she was a college coach herself. She said, but she won't be at that level. And I thought, I don't see that. But what was great is Britta in the championship game was flawless. And I thought after the game, it's nice that college coach is sitting there watching her play in the championship game. Joey McKenzie, who is also an All-American, best rhythm of any setter ever. She also is, by the way, and many people consider her the best coach, one of the best coaches in the country. I happen to be one of them. Joy, I can tell you a funny story. If I wish they had this on here, the last point. I always said, don't pay attention to the score. Play every play. And the play was going on, and we won. Danielle blocked the last point. And when we blocked the last point, Joey still stood there. And she didn't make any motion at all. like the game was still going to go on. And then she looked around and everybody, game was over. Then she reacted. Right. And then last, and certainly not least, Danielle Scott was two-time Player of the Year. Retired at the highest hitting percentage of anybody ever in the history of the game, and went on to be America's first 5-time Olympian. And next to me, and she put up with me for 23 years, we have no idea why. She could have, Debbie was also a two-time Olympian, the first Olympic team that qualified for the Olympics a few years ago. So, and she could have gone and been a head coach anywhere and stayed with us, stayed with these people. And it was amazing. I was so lucky, so fortunate, and there's never been an assistant coach like Debbie. And thank God she didn't become a head coach and I didn't want to play against her. So, okay. And I want to say one last thing, and this really sums up this team. And I summed up by saying to someone who's not here, Chrissy Sether was our right side player, and she didn't come. She wrote a letter to me, and I know a lot of coaches or players get letters or sent letters to coaches at the end. She sent a letter to me, and the opening line was, "You'll never see me again." Okay. She said, "I won't come back to the university. I will never come back." And she never has, 1993. And she said, "I don't want to remember it in any other way than what it was for me at that time. I want to remember it that way because it was perfect." And it was. That's it.
Well, I don't really know a better way to end it than that. Congratulations to the whole team in the Hall of Fame, national champions and now Hall of Famers. Thank you for joining us.
They're keeping us for some unknown reason, but
We just have to get a couple more questions in, especially with all due respect, Brian, but seeing Danielle, I always want to spend as much time with her as I can. So thank you for joining us. I just wanted to ask you about, as Brian mentioned, you had such an incredible Olympic career, an incredible career at Long Beach State. What made this team that now you're already in the Hall of Fame, but now you're in it with that whole team as well? What made that team special and different from any other team you were on?
Yeah, I think what made the 1993 team special is the glue to the entire program, Brian and Debbie. The discipline they had us be together, the accountability, like down to every detail. Like if you've played for any coach who is very specific on things, this was the program. And we grew together as a team and bought into everything that he was teaching, down to little things like the hair tie we wore, if our socks were straight. When we talk about how you take these things into life experiences after, it's these little details, how you pay attention to those. And, we had like two things that really kind of stand out was the drills we would do, this mine one. Like, it's gone international. People know about this drill, where you repeat the same kind of rhythm, and if you didn't do it right, you had to do it over again. And so all these things were things that we bought into, and even a memorable time is, the meetings we would have after, a win or a loss. It could be like 5 hours, and he'd go through everything that we did wrong, to make us better. And I think, when you can buy into a program and a system and a belief, that is what makes you special, and that was how we were able to win and come together in the right moments, and everyone contributing at different times.
My last question for both of you, I've been fortunate enough to cover recently the men's volleyball team's national championships, covered so many great years with Brian. And one thing that everyone who's won at Long Beach has always talked about is you reach a certain point, and you can tell that the NCAA people or the other colleges go, you're good there. You don't need to keep going, right? How special was it for you guys to say, no, we're doing it at Long Beach. We're going to go and beat Penn State on national television. How special was it not just to win, but to represent this school and this city so excellently the way you guys did?
I think this program just have a really great history and pride that started before our 93 team won another championship. There's actually going to be something in the making from our 1989 team, from the first championship team. It's just that sense of pride. And, when you can have that and have that belief, that's what makes it special. Like when everyone else thinks you're the underdog, and you go out there and you overcome and you defeat every disbelief, that makes the team really special because you've done something together. It's more than just any one person, it's all of us together.
I want to say something about Danielle, because I talked about families, and I don't know why this just popped up, but her mother was a hero of mine. Fabulous woman. And, I'm sorry, it's emotional. She's no longer with us. And her pride, the most pride she had was within her daughter. And she allowed this crazy guy from California to come all the way across the country, and she trusted me with her daughter. And I'll never forget that, and I appreciate it.
Yeah. I think.
Well, none of us will ever forget that. We're all very grateful. One more time, ladies and gentlemen, the 1993 Long Beach State Women's Volleyball National Champions. I'll take it. Thanks. Congrats, Brian. Congratulations. We got too many microphones now for two guys. Okay.
We got 4 mics up here.
Okay, and now a historical no, we're just kidding. That's it. Thank you very much. Congratulations to all the Hall of Famers. One more big round of applause. All of this year's honorees. We'll see you next year, and go Beach!
Go Beach!